let's dive in. Today we're tackling From Nice Guy to Alpha Male by Conrad Riker. I'm really excited to unpack this one.
Yeah, it's a book that's definitely sparking
It
conversation.
really is, and for good reason, I think. It's got so much practical advice for men. Those looking to better themselves, really step into their potential.
It's interesting how Riker just cuts to the chase, He jumps right into this nice guy syndrome, no sugarcoating.
Right. He doesn't shy away from those tough questions. Like, is always putting others first actually the best strategy?
He really challenges that whole idea, doesn't he? Like, always avoiding confrontation, seeking validation. Maybe that's not the path to happiness after all.
And it's not just about feeling good or bad either. It's about the real world consequences, in your relationships, your career, your whole life.
Yeah, it can impact everything, can't it? And he uses this example, the story of John, the successful attorney, shows just how deep this stuff runs.
Oh, John's story is so powerful. Here's a guy, he's got it all on paper, right?
Yeah.
But underneath, he's struggling with this nice guy persona, and it's affecting everything.
I found it fascinating how Riker ties it all back, Like, he connects these present-day struggles back to John's childhood, especially the relationship with his father.
So we're getting into the role of father. That's a big one.
Huge. The book goes deep into that, even delves into the father complex.
It's heavy stuff, but it feels important, like something a lot of guys out there can relate to.
Oh, definitely. Riker argues that a father's absence, or even just being emotionally unavailable, can leave this lasting mark.
And we're not even talking about specific parenting styles yet, like how those can play a role too.
So many layers to this, right? And it all feeds into a man's self-esteem, his relationships, everything.
This might be hitting home for some listeners, this whole father complex thing.
Yeah, for sure. But here's the thing. Riker doesn't just point out the problem.
He offers hope, doesn't he?
He does. He suggests ways to heal from that father complex, not by dwelling on the past, but by acknowledging it, accepting it.
And then there's this idea of self-parenting.
Right. It's like giving yourself that love and care that maybe was missing, Especially from that father figure. You become the supportive parent you needed.
That's a powerful concept, like stepping into that role for yourself. It almost feels like rewiring those old patterns, creating a new blueprint.
Exactly. It's about taking ownership, recognizing the impact of those early experiences, but then making a conscious choice to move forward differently.
Now, there's another big theme we see throughout the book, the fear of abandonment.
Ah, yes. Riker connects that right back to those early childhood attachments. And then he shows how it plays out in adult relationships.
It's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy sometimes, isn't it?
It can be. If you're carrying that deep fear of abandonment, you might subconsciously attract relationships that confirm that fear.
And then you get clingy, jealous, constantly needing reassurance, and it can push people away.
It's a tough cycle to break.
But Riker, thankfully, doesn't just diagnose the problem right. He offers potential solutions.
He does. Therapy, mindfulness, self-reflection. He sees them as paths to healing those old wounds.
He even gets specific, right?
Yeah.
Like recommending certain types of therapy.
He does. Cognitive behavioral therapy, for one. It can help identify those negative thought patterns and then replace them with healthier ones.
So he's not just saying go to therapy. He's giving concrete steps you can take to overcome those ingrained fears.
Exactly. He wants to give people tools they can actually use, real strategies for change.
And then there's this whole exploration of different attachment styles. Secure, avoidant, disorganized. It's like a whole new way of understanding how we connect with others.
It's like a blueprint,
Yeah.
Developed in childhood. And it shapes how we approach relationships as adults.
It's fascinating stuff. And Riker helps you understand these patterns so you can make more conscious choices, about the relationships you form, how you navigate them. It's about taking back control.
Absolutely. It's about empowering yourself to create healthier, more fulfilling connection. Welcome back. We're still diving deep into From Nice Guy to Alpha Male. In the first part, we really dug into the roots of that nice guy syndrome, all those patterns that can hold a man back. But Riker doesn't just leave us there, right?
Yeah, he definitely doesn't. He's all about giving us a path forward, that roadmap for transformation. I'm excited to dig into that.
Me too. In the first part, we touched on self-parenting, which is such a powerful idea. But I'm wondering, what other practical advice does he give, for guys looking to make that shift from nice guy to alpha male?
Right, because self-parenting is great, but it's not the whole picture. What are some of those everyday things guys can start doing?
Well, one thing Riker really emphasizes is developing assertiveness. It's about learning to voice your needs, your boundaries, without being afraid of confrontation.
So it's not about becoming some kind of aggressive jerk, right?
Well, not at all. It's about finding that sweet spot, being respectful of others, absolutely, but also, standing up for yourself.
It's about balance, right? Because I think a lot of guys who identify as nice guys, they struggle with that. Putting others first all the time to the point where their own needs get lost.
Exactly. And then what happens? Resentment builds, frustration. It's not sustainable in the long run.
So how do you actually become more assertive? Does Riker get into that?
Oh, yeah. He gives specific techniques, like using I statements, setting clear boundaries. He even offers scripts. for navigating those tricky conversations.
It's like he's giving us this communication toolkit, the words to use, the strategies to try.
Precisely. And it's not just about what you say, it's how you say it, right? He gets into body language too.
Ah, that often overlooked piece.
Right. Posture, eye contact, your overall demeanor, it all matters.
I know, I've noticed that myself. When I stand tall, make eye contact, people just seem to listen more.
Exactly. It's powerful stuff. Riker gives tips on how to project confidence through your physical presence, aligning your inner state with how you present yourself to the world.
So we've got assertiveness, body language. What about emotional intelligence? I feel like that's a hot topic these days.
Oh, it is. And Riker dedicates a whole chapter to it. He argues that emotional intelligence is key. Understanding your own emotions, managing them, and being able to read others' emotions too.
It's about being in tune with yourself and with the people around you.
Right. And it's not just about recognizing those emotions, it's about understanding their impact, how they influence your thoughts, your actions.
It's about becoming more self-aware.
Exactly. And learning to respond to your emotions in a healthy way, a way that benefits you and the people around you.
I've been trying to work on my own emotional intelligence. I feel like it's already making a difference, especially in how I handle stress.
That's awesome. It's a journey, not a quick fix. But as you develop that emotional intelligence, you'll find it easier to navigate those tough situations.
Now, this might seem like kind of a jump, but Riker also brings up the red pill philosophy. That's something I keep hearing about.
Yeah, it's definitely out there, especially in online communities. And Riker acknowledges it. This idea that men need to see the world through a different lens, challenge those mainstream narratives, especially when it comes to gender and relationships.
It can be a bit controversial, right?
For sure. But Riker handles it thoughtfully. He emphasizes that being red-pilled doesn't mean becoming cynical or, hating women.
It's not about that at all, is it?
No. It's about critical thinking, questioning those assumptions you've been fed, forming your own opinions based on evidence, on logic.
It's more about awareness, right?
Yeah.
Understanding how society might be shaping your views, your actions, without you even realizing it.
Precisely. It's about taking control of your own worldview, making choices that align with your own values and goals.
There's this other concept Riker talks about that really stood out to me. Covert contract. He says those unspoken expectations can poison relationships.
Ooh, covert contract. Yeah, those are interesting. They often come from this fear of being direct, about our needs, our desires. We expect other people to just intuitively know what we want, and when they don't, we end up feeling hurt, resentful.
Like we're setting ourselves up for disappointment, right?
Yeah.
Assuming people should just get us.
Exactly. And that leads to problems, especially in relationships. Riker's solution: clear, open communication.
Ah, that makes sense. But it's easier said than done sometimes, right?
It can be, but it's essential for a healthy relationship. Being honest with yourself, with your partner about what you want, what you need.
It takes courage to do that, though, doesn't it? To be that vulnerable, to put your true desires out there.
It does, but the rewards are worth it. Riker gives guidance on how to have those conversations with empathy, respect, and a willingness to compromise.
So it's about shifting from these unspoken expectations to a place of open dialogue, real understanding.
Exactly. It's about creating a space where both partners feel safe to express themselves, to work together, to build a relationship that truly works for both of them.
All right, welcome back to the deep dive. We've been uncovering a lot from nice guy to alpha male, understanding that nice guy syndrome, where it comes from, and all those practical strategies for relationships, for communicating better. But it feels like Riker takes it even further. Right.
Yeah, he does. He doesn't just stop at the mental stuff. He really looks at the whole picture. He argues that physical well-being is like the foundation for everything else, for real growth.
So we're talking like hitting the gym, watching what you eat, that kind of thing.
Exactly. He's got a whole chapter dedicated to physical fitness.
Interesting. So it's not just about looking good then.
No, he goes beyond that. He talks about the mental and emotional benefits of taking care of your body.
I can see that. I know when I'm working out consistently, I just feel better. More energy, more confident, even mentally sharper.
Right. It's like that boost you get. Exercise releases endorphin. It reduces stress. You sleep better. It's like a total reset for your body and mind.
So it's not just about building muscle. It's about building yourself up from the inside out.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And Riker even suggests that physical fitness can actually help with assertiveness.
Oh, really? I wouldn't have thought of that connection.
Well, think about it. When you feel strong and capable in your body, that can translate into other areas of your life. Like having the confidence to stand up for yourself, to go after what you want.
It's like building that inner strength, and then it just kind of radiates outward.
Exactly. He ties it all together so well.
Now, what about diet? Does Riker get into that too?
Oh, yeah, he does. And this might surprise some people. He's pretty adamant about how what you eat affects everything. Your mental clarity, how stable you are emotionally, even your motivation level.
So it's not just about counting calories or fitting into a certain size.
Nope. It's about fueling your personal growth. He talks about eating a balanced diet, loss of nutrients, stuff that supports your brain function, your overall well-being.
It's like you are what you eat, taken to a whole new level.
Right. It's not just fuel, it's information you're putting into your body. And that information can either help you or hold you back.
It really does all come back to taking ownership, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Realizing you have the power to shape your own life, your mindset, your relationships, even your physical health.
Riker's all about empowering men to do that, to become active participants in their own lives, not just letting life happen to them.
Right. And he doesn't just leave you hanging with all this information either.
Yeah.
I love how he ends the book with a clear call to action.
Yeah, he doesn't want you to just read it and put it on a shelf. He wants you to actually do something with it.
He's big on action, right? It's like knowledge is only as good as what you do with it.
Totally. He encourages readers to take those first steps, even if they're small. Just start moving in the right direction.
And build that momentum. Keep going.
Yeah. He even suggests leaving a review on Amazon. Sharing your experience so others can learn from it. It's like building this whole community of guys supporting each other.
It's pretty cool how he ties that in.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I think we've covered a lot here. Really explore the heart of from nice guy to alpha male. We went through the psychology, the philosophy, all those practical strategies for growth, for relationships, even physical well-being.
It's been a fascinating deep dive, and I think there's something in here for every guy, no matter where you are on your journey.
As we wrap up here, I want to leave you with something to think about. If you could go back, talk to your younger self,
Yeah.
what advice would you give him? Knowing what you know now.
Wow, that's a powerful question. Really makes you think.
And as you're reflecting on that, remember, it's never too late to start your own journey, to become the man you want to be.
You absolutely have the power to do that.
So keep seeking, keep growing, and keep diving deep. If you want to learn more, you can find From Nice Guy to Alpha Male on Amazon Kindle and Google Playbooks. Yeah, check it out.
Until next time.